Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Into the Badlands, Black Lotus, White Rose. And this was a very good and very important episode of Into the Badlands because it really started digging more into the lore and history of Sunny as well as the Master. And I'm glad that we got this, and it wasn't really kind of ham-fisted or drawn out. It was done pretty well visually to kind of distinctly show us between, okay, this is present, here's our kind of flashbacks and everything, and I really like them digging into the lore of what's going on. So, this could kind of be divided up into two main parts with like some bits scattered in and out to kind of tie other storylines together. The main one focusing on Sunny and the Black Lotus, and the other one focusing on Pilgrim and the Master and what's kind of going on there. So, with Pilgrim and the Master, we just see that he's getting really tired from what's going on. MK is still looking around for Tate, and she's like, he goes and confronts the Master about this, and she's like, well, not everybody survives the needling process, and he's getting ready to punch her out, but of course Pilgrim stops MK from doing that, and you're like, don't worry, she'll get her due and everything, and just pretty much puffing himself up while also trying to take her down, even though he's doing the same things that she's doing. So, they're pretty much still kind of rifling around and figuring out what's going on. Pilgrim's still kind of gloating, but you can see that he's weakened and everything, and talking about hubris, and of course he starts leaking black liquid from his eyes, and the Master's being like, well, see, that's the thing. Absolute power fails you when you need it the most, whereas if you use power correctly, you pick the opportune time to strike. And then she pretty much goes dark and does a few couple of good moves, pretty much gets Pilgrim to the position where she's about to kill him after she had kind of like palm struck MK away, but we see that MK gets up behind her and stabs her through. And after this, Pilgrim says that, like, you're one of my truest warriors. I want you always by my side, pretty much calling him, and says that you are my son. And it's like, wow, that's some pretty big stuff going on with that. And then, of course, we kind of get them back at the end because the end is kind of a montage of all these different facets kind of coming together. So we'll get to that at the end. While this is going on, we do see that an important bit has happened in that Baji is brought back to life by Ankara and kind of her last bit of strength as she dies, and she's of course telling Baji to not go after somebody, that it's a fool's errand pretty much. And of course Baji can't do that. So throughout the episode we see him fixing up his truck and driving to the Black Lotus's compound. And we also see that Tilda and Gaius are kind of figuring out what's going on. They've got Chow's head. Widow has decided to send Nyx to the sanctuary to kind of give Lydia the rundown of everything, while she wants Gaius and Tilda to go and collect the rest of Chow's forces and get ready for war. So, we of course see Tilda give Gaius the talk and be like, listen, if you break my mother's heart, I'm gonna kill you. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then I'm just thinking, if this dude breaks the widow's heart, you're gonna have to kind of fight her to even get him, because she's gonna beat the shit out of him. But it was kind of nice to see that bit going on. Of course, they go their separate ways. We see at the end how their errand goes on to figure out what to do with Chow's forces, while Minerva, of course, drives on to the monastery and sees that the Master is pretty much dying, and she wants Minerva to take her to the mirror room. And we get the big information there about the Master. She's like, okay, will you come with me on this journey? Crushes one of the drug packets that they've got and takes her to where she was last the happiest before she had to get, explaining that this was her brother's grave and that they were out picking blueberries and she had gotten caught on a thorn. Her world went black, and when she woke up, her brother's neck was snapped. And seeing that everything that had happened, her parents distrusting her and fearful of her, and we learned that her name back then was Ada, and wanting Minerva to learn from her mistakes, that Minerva is her final lesson, that she thought that if she removed the dark ones from the world and the world from the dark ones, that they'd be safe, but she figures out at the end that she was nothing but a warden and that the monastery was just a prison, and that she wants Minerva to make a world where there are no more masters, and giving her a little flower from the top of her brother's grave as she passes on. And then, of course, Minerva gets back to the present, and we see that she's still holding the flower, but we see no sign of the master. So this could be taken that the master could still be in play, or that she essentially had a Yoda kind of moment where she became one with the universe kind of thing. So we'll kind of have to see how that works out, but I think that this is a nice ending to the master's part in the story, and that we're just seeing Minerva having to deal with that stuff. Of course, we see her part in the montage as well. But the biggest bit is that we get with Sunny and everything with the Black Lotus. We see that they want to use him, and in order to use him, they have to use his sister. And we see that she comes down, and her name's Kanan, and that she is part of the Black Lotus. And this is pretty good because she's trying to unlock his gift, but slowly throughout give him more of his memories as we see what's going on. And that we get the rundown that the Black Lotus has been around for more than like 500 years, that they've got multiple different kind of strongholds throughout the world, and that the Dark-Eyed Ones were responsible for what happened in the world, because the founders of the Black Lotus were trying to warn everybody, yeah, this is going to be pretty bad, and of course nobody listened, and devastation rocked the world. But of course we have to figure out that the source that we're getting this from is the leader of the, well, who we would assume is at least the leader of this cell of the Black Lotus, so of course his opinion is going to be biased. And that they got information that a new city was being formed in the ruins of Azra, and that's why they kind of go out after that. And we see that he gives Kanan a time frame and kisses her. It's like, wow, okay, kind of weird, but of course still kind of doing a negative to her, being like, you're still a little dark-eyed one. It's like, that's just kind of crazy. And that Kanan is explaining to Sunny her relationship with Magnus, saying that he's pretty much a father to her and taught her the truth and everything. It's like, yeah, you kind of sounded similar to what happened to Sunny. And then, of course, she takes him on the first kind of journey with the memories, and we see that Sunny is training with Pilgrim. And that, let's see here. His name was Taran, and a really cool kind of bit that I liked in this part is that they even had the kids kind of fight in a similar kind of style that we've seen with the older versions of Sansa and Taran. And now granted, it's not as technically as refined as their older versions, but it was kind of nice to see in what little we got. And we see that Sunny just is really harsh on training with Taran, and of course Kanan comes in like, why are you so hard on him? Is it because of the ceremony tomorrow? It's like, yeah, I understand that. And they kind of move along out, and they kind of keep going further, and that there was this ceremony was that we see their father. Sunny's father is giving Sansa and Taran these pendants, and that they want to bring Azra's enlightenment to the world, and that they were going to be important to that. But of course, we then see that guards come in and give him this book, and he's like, Sansa, follow me. And Kanan starts explaining to Sunny that this was the day his innocence died. And they go out, and we see 3 prisoners of the Black Lotus. He's, of course, questioning them, but they're not answering, so he goes dark-eyed and breaks 2 of their necks, and says that you have until this hourglass goes out, and then my son's pretty much going to kill you. And we keep going further into these memories, and we see that when we get to an important part in the episode, that Magnus was that last prisoner and that Sunny had freed him because he was saying that his father's plan was going to bring ruin and destruction upon the world, but of course he tried to then take Sunny hostage, and Sunny scratched him and scarred him while he then tossed Sunny over and hit his head. So it's like, whoa, okay. It's cool that we're seeing how Azure was kind of not formed, but how all of these kind of events led and shaped to each other. How we even get cool costuming for everything in Azure. I'm like, wow, you gotta hand it to the costuming department. They really did a good job of showing, okay, Azure is its own separate kind of place. And we see its own kind of fashion and everything, and just seeing how Sunny's father even raised him to say that you are a killer. And it's like, wow, Sunny didn't want to be this killer. But yet, in it trying to escape that, he then gets captured again by, like, the baronies and turned into a clipper, one of the best. And Kanan even brings this up as they're, like, going through this whole ordeal to bring his memories back into focus and unlock his gift. And she blames him for everything because he didn't want to be a killer. And we see that she doesn't want to be a killer either. But of course, as they're getting through all this, and Magnus wants to kind of accelerate the process, we see that Sunny's kind of locked up. We see that Baji finally makes it in there and does some awesome ass tricks to take out some people, and is about ready to get Sunny out. He captures Magnus and actually takes a map as well, and we're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But of course, Sunny's sister gets involved, and she's pretty much too far gone, and pretty much holds herself hostage, and Sunny's like, no, Baji, give up, like, stand down. And Baji's like, damn it. And we see that Sunny is put in this contraption that they had used to keep Kanan under control with her dark eye powers. And, of course, Magnus wants to use Kanan to control Sunny's gift, and he doesn't care how he does that. And of course, Sunny is trying to talk to her sister, like, listen, there's got to be another way. You don't have to do this. And she just boops him, but doesn't go through with it, and instead turns herself dark-eyed. And we see a great-ass fight sequence. I mean, when we see her moving, it's just fucking amazing. Like, her own style just... Her fight with Magnus just really showcases how well she can go toe-to-toe with some people. And if we see that, like, Sunny has one hell of a time trying to, like, get out of the contraption, but he does it so awesomely, like, using the weights that are used on the chains to take out some people. And it's funny, we see that they're using these chain whip kind of mauls and how they're supposed to be really effective against the dark-eyed ones. But Sunny is just freaking not caring. He's able to turn their own weapons against them, and just seeing him take out like a couple of the, like, it's a circle of all these guys around him is just amazing. I'm like, all right. And he pretty much gets the kill of the week. He did one with a chain, but he was able to do one with one of the maul ends into the dude's head, and I was like, yeah. And we'd also gotten the explanation that Sunny is so superior in his skills because of how strong his gift is that it's kind of a bleed-through effect. It's like, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see if he'll get access to his gift, which I think they will because he's going to need it against Pilgrim. And just see how different he'll be with that, because that was their whole kind of plan, as we saw when Kanan was trying to explain to him getting his memories and everything. It's like, listen, Pilgrim can either go dark-eyed or he can shut you down. So we need you to have the gift in order to have him make that kind of change, that choice in tactics, and then that's how you'll get him. So, yeah. And we see that Magnus is taken down. Kanan is able to free Baji, and Baji has some cool-ass moves as well as he takes out more of the Black Lotus. But we see that Kanan does not kill Magnus because she's not a killer. She doesn't want to be a killer, and she makes that choice. And she's able to lead them out of the Black Lotus's fortress. Then we get the ending of the episode where we see all these different things happening at once. We see that Sunny is moving out through, he's carrying the pendant that Kanan was using to help him get his memories into focus, and he tosses it away as he also looks back and actually sees his younger self and kind of nods to each other because he's finally going more along the path that he wanted to when he was younger, to not be a killer, to use his powers in a way so that way other people don't have to suffer that kind of consequence, kind of define what his father wanted for him and what Quinn wanted for him. That was pretty sweet. And that's kind of where we're left off with that. We see that Minerva has decided to burn down the monastery and go forth and see what she needs to do against Pilgrim. We see that Gaius and Tilda show off Baron Chow's head, and the forces that she's got left bow to them and I guess acquiesce to them and be like, all right, we're going to get them into the next battle. And we see that Pilgrim has the people that he's rescued from the Needling grouped around him, going through this ritual of like cutting their lips and everything, and we see him go dark-eyed and do some kind of interesting thing where the others go dark-eyed as well. And I'm intrigued to see what that actually means, or if they all decided to just go dark-eyed at the same point, because it seemed like when he went dark-eyed, they also went dark-eyed as well. So if that might be an expansion of his power or whatnot, we'll have to see. But that's kind of where everything kind of runs out to. I really liked how they did that kind of montage to The Sound of Silence cover done by Disturbed, and just how nuts it was as it goes into his dark eye and ends out the episode. So we're going to have to see how this goes. I'm liking how each kind of puzzle piece is being put into place to get towards the end game scenario here, as we've gotten all the information that we need for Sonny, so he's got to use that effectively to take on Pilgrim. Minerva's gotten the information that she's needed from the Master and the closure that she's needed to effectively go after Pilgrim, and all the rest of the forces are being pretty much brought to bear. It's going to be crazy with all the different dark-eyed ones that Pilgrim's got and how they're going to have to be able to fight them. We'll have to see if the Black Lotus comes into effect, and that if they might have to team up with Sonny and his group, which wouldn't really be ideal, or if they're just going to show up out of nowhere and it's going to be a three-sided brawl and chaos. It could just be nuts like that. So I'm really looking forward to where this is going to go. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.